What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new eBay auction of Earl's lunchbox filled with toenail clippings. Today we're going to be talking about listing an individual expense onto the page, or listing all the expenses onto the page. And also we're going to be actually creating an input box, so that way you could type whatever you want and it'll filter the way you want it to. And we're going to be also doing a button where we remove a listing or an expense. Yes, there you go. That. So let's actually get started by just creating a component that's going to list our individual items. Now, there's a lot of ways that you could do this. Typically, you would, like I said, with React, you would want to create components for every single thing. So for this case, we are going to create a component for our expense list. So we got expense list right here, which is a component of the expense list. But now we need expense list items inside this. So we're going to create another component. New file, expense list item, expenses list item. .js. So in here, we're going to import React. We're just creating a component. So React from React. React. And we're going to create a const expense list item. Expenses list item. It's going to equal to a arrow function, and here this is where we're gonna return something, right? Return something which is not a, which is going to be a div, and you don't have to have the return, so we're just returning one thing like that. It's going to be in div. Inside of here, we're going to have, so this is where each item we're going to get. So let's actually open up our console so that way we can see what's going on. So we have an array, and inside our arrays, these things, we have description, our note, and the amount and created at. So first of all, we're gonna get props back. So I'm gonna say props right here. Props. And here, let's create an h3 tag. And this h3 is going to contain our props. Or sorry, curly braces. Props. Dot. Now it's an array, and this array lives in the expenses, right? That's the array, and then we're gonna get the dot description from that array, or that from expenses, right? So for right now, let's just do it like that. We could get the amount and create that if you want, but right now I just want to see if it works. Control save this, and we're gonna actually export default expense list item. Control save. Now inside of our expense list, this is where we're going to call it. So up above, import from. I do from first because once you have the what am I doing right now? Once you have this, you can actually go in here and say expense list, and it'll give you the component like that. So in here we do need to loop through the array that we're grabbing from expenses. Like I said, it's an array, so we do need to loop through it, and every time we loop through it, we want to create an instance of the expenses list item. So you could do it any way you want. Right now I'm going to use map for this though, to loop through it, and it's going to be an arrow function, or it takes in an arrow function, and inside this we're going to get one expense from it. And this is where we're going to create our our instance of our expense list item. Now we do need to pass in the expense that is coming in. So expense is going to equal expense. Control save. Ooh. Okay, let's see. Let's go to expense list. Oh, God, I keep on putting these curly braces, which I shouldn't. Control save. And we're still getting an error. Let me see what's going on. It's not the key. I know that for a fact. Description. Oh, we're not passing in expenses. We're passing in the prop. Or where is it at? Expense. Our prop is expense. So it's going to be prop.expense.description, not expenses. And there you go. We got our coffee and our truck rental. Now, yes, we do need a key. So back over here, we do need a key, which will contain a unique identifier, which we already know what it is because we created IDs for every expense. So it's going to be live inside expense.id. Control save, and we shouldn't get no more errors. There you go. Now, this is one way of doing it. Actually, we don't even need this over here. We don't need this. This is one way of doing it right here, guys. But there is another way, which is much more simpler, because it'll reduce the code over here, or you don't have to keep on typing this a lot. So let me actually show you. We're going to actually use a spread operator to spread out the expense. You know, since expense is an object, right? And here, instead of calling this, we're going to use the spread operator, ... expense, right? And this is equivalent. This is equivalent as saying, as putting everything in here. Like over here, let me see, what do we got? We're going to set description equal to expense dot description. You know what I'm talking about? And then we set another one saying note is going to equal to expense dot note, like that. This right here does all of this for us in here already. So we don't even need to type it out. It gives it the key value pair of each one of them. Okay. So now it's going to break if we save, because we're not passing in an expense prop. We're actually passing in every single little thing, an object still, right? So back over here, what I'm going to do is destructure the object being passed in, and then get everything that we need, like description. We need our note if we wanted it. We need our amount created at. Right? Control save. And instead of calling props.expense.description, just call description. And you see that? Boom. It's a pretty nice trick to actually learn. You're going to see this a lot. Instead of them passing in every little prop they want, they'll just pass in the whole object itself. And then over here, they'll just destructure the object, getting what they want, description, note, amount, created at, and then bam. You know, it makes it much more simpler. Down below, we're going to add two more things. Let's just add a p tag. And inside this p tag, we're going to get the amount. And inside of the description, we're going to set created at here. Created at. So that way we could say, hey, truck rental, it was created at here. And this is the amount. We could actually say amount. Control save. Amount, $100. $sign. That took me a while to find. Sorry about that. So $100. Coffee, $16. And let's even add a note down here. So we're going to create another p tag. And actually, no. We're going to create a JSX expression. And we're going to say if there is a note. So if there is a note, then and let's render out a p tag that has note with the note inside of that, just like so. So I know for a fact, yeah, truck rental, we didn't give it a note. No, there's no. Oh, that's coffee. Let me see, where's it at? Right here. There is no note. You see that? So we don't have note, but we do have a note for coffee. This is per bag. Awesome. Now we're not done yet, and the reason why is because this, let me see, where are we at? This right here gives us the complete array of our expenses, which we do not want. We actually want the filtered array. So that way you know what we're talking about. You see right here, we have store.dispatch. Let's actually uncomment this. We should only see one, right? Which is rental, but we don't. We see both of them still. But over here, down here, we are getting that just one truck rental because we have it down here. Okay? So what we need to do is actually in here get that filtered data that we want. And we already know how to do that because we just created a function that does that for us. So let's actually pass in that function in here. Import filtered data from, we need to get out of directory and selectors, filtered expense data. Now instead of doing state.expenses, we're gonna get that function filtered data, and we're gonna pass in the two things that we need, which is a state.expenses and state.filters. Control save. Now we only see that one coming in, and that's great. If I uncomment this or comment this again, we should get our both of them back. So now let's actually tackle the input that we could, the input box, so that way we could start typing what we want to filter out this list the way we want it to. So we're going to create another component because that's going to be a component of its own. So a new file, and we're going to call this expense input, or filter input. That's better. Filter input.js. And here we're going to create a component. So import react from react const expense filter input. There's going to be an arrow function like always. And right here, we're going to see what I mean? I'm so used to doing this object. That's extremely wrong. It's that. And we're going to return one thing, which is going to be a div. Get rid of this. And inside this div, we're going to just literally have an input. And you don't need a self-closing tag because the input is self-closing. And we're going to have type as equal to text. Now this is a HTML5. You should know this. Get rid of this. Control save. Awesome. And this input is going to live inside our expense list right here. So we do need to grab that. So import expense filter input from expense filter input, and then it's not going to live in here. I'm sorry about that, guys. It's not living in here. It's going to be living inside of control save. It's going to be living inside the budget snob home, our home page for our expense list right here. But this is going to be on top. Oops. And we're going to just do right here expense. Don't you hate it when you have to type the whole thing out? We're so lazy. All right. We should see an input box. Oh, we're getting some errors, so let's see what's going on. I got that comma up here. Control save. We're getting errors. We're not exporting it. Export default. Express. Oh. Filter. Let me just copy this. Why am I? Input. input, control save. And there we go. We got our input. Sorry about that, guys. I'm going too fast. I'm gonna slow down. I think I said it already in the other videos. Get rid of that. Get rid of this because we don't need it no more. Expense. Nope. So we need our filter input and we need our budget snob home. So let's head back to our expense input right here because we're going to be connecting to our store right here. And the reason we're connecting the store right here is because this component is in charge of filtering out our data per change on the input field. So every time they type something in here, it should be reading that and be saying and changing our expense list down here to according to what's inside the input field. So let's actually do the connection first, and then we'll, do the rest. How to actually, get a component to connect to the store. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about. So import, connect. We already know how to do this part. It's in the last video. From React Redux. And down here, we're not going to be exporting this no more. We're going to be exporting connect with our expense filter input. And in here, obviously standardized is the map state to props const that we're going to be creating up here. So const map state to props. It's going to equal to an arrow function. Oops. And in here, we're passing in the state. And down here, we're going to be return. We need the filters attribute because this is in charge of filtering our stuff. So the filter, and the way we get that is state.filters. Like that. Control save. So now we have access to the filters with the props up here. And now we can actually set value equal to props dot filters dot keyword. Control save. And there you go. We have the keyword rent because we uncommented it over here. That's why we have it. So if we comment this out, control save, we shouldn't have anything, but let's uncomment that so we can actually get something. And let's look at the error. It's saying that it's giving us an error because this rent, let's actually read it right now. We provided a value prop to the form field without an on-change handler. This will render a read-only field. So yeah, if the field should be mutatable, use default value. Otherwise, see either on-change or read-only. So right now, it's read-only, and that means that we're out of sync with the store. So if we actually start typing some stuff in here, which we can't because it's only reading from the file, read-only, so we can't really change it. So it's telling us use the on-change attribute so that way you could actually be on sync with the store. So that's what we're going to do right here. On-change. Change. It's going to equal, and it does take in a function. We're going to pass in the event handler or the event that's happening because we're going to get every keystroke that's being typed in. So if we could actually see it, console.log e.target.value, control save. Now we don't have that warning, and we can start changing stuff up here. See down here. But the thing is, I keep on typing D, and it won't go as far as that. And every time I type another one, the D gets replaced, the F gets replaced to an S. If I type an H, the S gets replaced with an H. And the reason why this is happening is because we're still kind of out of sync with the store. We do have the value, the right value, but every time we change it, it gets the value and adds on the last character that we typed in. So we're never going to get the I don't know, DFSH and one rent DSFH, you know. The way to fix it is that we have to change the store inside of here. Meaning we do need to dispatch an action in here. So let's do that. We already set a function to set keyword filter. This is a function that sets our keyword in the store. So in here, what we need to do is actually, let me go down here, connect to the store to dispatch something. Usually you're used to like store.dispatch, but the thing is we don't have access to the store because the store isn't on this component. Well, you don't have the variable store on this component, but what we do have is the props. Props actually has our dispatch method inside of it. So we could actually access our dispatch method from props. So props dot dispatch, and here this is where we're gonna dispatch our function, which is this, which I'm going to grab. And no, we don't need the rent. What we do need to pass in here is our e.target.value, the things that we want to change, okay? And we do need to get our function out of the action folder. So let's do that in here. Import set keyword filter from out of directory actions slash filter actions, control save. Now what we could do is let's actually type in, oh, we're getting errors. Let's see what that is. Oh, I do know what it is. Yeah. See, this file right here has multiple things inside it, and we need to call in the one we actually want by destructuring it. So, yeah, there you go. Now if you start typing, there you go. And obviously, we don't have anything that has rent GGG. If we exit out, we get both of them back. If I put CO, we should only get coffee, right? If I put E, we still get both because both of them still contain E. So this is actually working as we expected. Now let's get rid of the console log. Now let's focus on removing an actual expense if we wanted to, right? And this is going to live inside the expense list item. So I'm gonna get rid of all this in here. So in here, down below, I'm going to add in a button, and it's gonna say remove. But since we're going to be removing it from here, we do need to connect from the store. So import connect from React Redux. Down here, we don't really need expense, or we're not going to be exporting our expense list item. What we're going to be exporting is the connect. And we don't need anything from state, so we don't need to pass in a function in here, but we do need to pass in still our component. And we do need to grab our action, the one we need to remove, which is, where is it at? Sort by word. Remove expense, this one right here, and it lives right there. So I'm actually going to grab all this. Import this and delete the ones that I don't need. Remove expense, and you already know how to do it. It's on change. So on change, which takes in, it's going to equal, which takes in a function. Right here, we're going to dispatch our function. Now, we got rid of props right here, but like I said, props has everything that we need, and inside props, we do have dispatch. So we could actually grab dispatch, add it right there, and then just call right here. Instead of saying props.dispatch, is now just dispatch. And then we're going to just dispatch our remove expenses with the ID. And we do need to add the ID up here. So description, let me see. I like keeping things in order. So ID, description, note, amount, ISO, ID up here. ID. Control save. Oh, we're getting an error. It's actually out 1. Control save now. And there we go. Let's get rid of this rent. And let's try to remove our truck rental. Ooh, something's not happening. Let me see. It's not on change. It's on click. Because we're not going to change nothing on the button. We're going to be clicking the button. So control save, on click, do this. So let me actually get rid of this. Now we do remove. Yeah, there you go. Now it works. Sorry about that, guys. It's on click, not on change. So that is it for this video, guys. I hope you actually did learn something today. Well, yeah, we just learned how to actually dispatch from a component inside. Not just grabbing the data from the store, but actually dispatching some stuff from our components to the store. That's pretty cool. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you learned something today. If you liked it, leave a comment down below. Leave it a like and subscribe if you haven't. Thank you so much, guys, for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.